After a lot of strange things, I slowly understood this little purse, what it means to me. The story has to start from many years ago in the Northeast. My grandfather and my grandmother's generation talked about it. My hometown is called Longjiang. It is a small county town belonging to Qiqihar City. As the saying goes, spicy 7, spicy 8, frozen jaw dropped. My grandfather was 28 years old. When you go out to cut off your hand, you have to bring a small can. Not while urinating, otherwise it will freeze. The weather in the Northeast is like that. It can freeze to death on an individual. Spicy 8 at that time. Eat sticky rice. The slimy kind that can't tell the force. Today happens to be spicy 8. My grandma took it out. I saved up yellow rice for half a year. Prepare to cook yellow rice. Wait until the rice is cooked. My grandmother fell asleep in a daze. She had a dream. I dreamed of something resembling a yellow skin, dangling in front of her. Don't dare to go. Just when she was angry and wanted to pick up a stone and throw it at her, but he was awakened by a knock on the door. The neighbor said he had caught a hole in the 8 walls. Let my grandma go out and have a look. The so-called 8-walled hole. In fact, it is a thief. At that time, the courtyard was all earthen walls, not sturdy. If the thief goes over the wall, there is a danger of knocking the wall down. So there was a thief who came up with it. A trick to drill a dog hole. This thief today, that's when you're drilling the dog hole. I was caught. When my grandma went out, in the yard, there are already a lot of neighbors. I watched the excitement. This thief was caught, not from this village, because everyone doesn't know each other. He looked to be about 40 years old, monkey gills with a pointed beak. He was still dressed in tatters, a pair of thief's little eyes, still looking around. This time, my grandfather just came back. See the thief on the ground, sighing helplessly. It is not easy to say that this world is alive. But cats have cats too. Rats have rats too. Now you are in our hands. Especially in those years. At that time, the people of the village were suffering from hunger. If you let go of this thief, since then, there has been no peace. Because if you don't kill him, he will definitely continue to plague this generation in the future. Subsequently, my grandpa asked my grandma to go get a bowl of yellow rice, eat another scoop of cold water, while my grandmother went to get the yellow rice. Neighbors in the yard, so he tied up the thief. Wait until the yellow rice is in front of him. The scent suddenly lifted his spirits. Nor do they speak. It's just sniffing with your nose all the time. Meantime, the 2 little eyes kept blinking and blinking. That's what my grandfather said. It's not that we don't give you a way to live. It's just that we can't help it. It's not easy. You're full and you're on your way. A good family to be born in the next life. In this way, my grandfather will dip the yellow rice in cold water, feed it to the cat thief 1 bite at a time. Maybe it's because I'm hungry. He swallowed it all in 1 gulp. I smiled at my grandfather while eating. I had no idea that I was on fire. The temperature of the freshly cooked yellow rice is surprisingly high. After dipping it in cold water, there is a big difference between the temperature of the surface layer and the temperature of the inner layer. It doesn't burn when you eat it in your mouth, but after getting to the stomach, it will burn the stomach and be half-baked. And all the women in the courtyard went back to the house, because I don't want to see the terrible scene below. Not long after my grandmother entered the house, the thief outside let out a miserable cry. At the same time, he rolled in the yard. He desperately opened his mouth wide, crazy spitting out hot air. It's like a kettle. This state did not last long, and the thief died. About an hour later, my grandpa's back. Look at my grandma like that. Grandpa is also very helpless. Then he said, look at your poke. A stinky bus can choke you up. Grandma also said, I shouldn't be dead. My grandfather thought, this blind raffle. It was the mountain that put down the beard and nailed it. And not even the people in the neighborhood. Suddenly, a big living person appeared. It's not what a beard is. If you don't kill him, if he goes back to the mountains and tells the beard, we have yellow rice to eat. If they come down the mountain and rob it, how are we going to live? My grandmother listened to the analysis. I suddenly felt quite scared. That's when he said to my grandfather, if the beard is found, the nails burn to death. Where do we have a way to live? My grandfather said indifferently, it's okay. The old man and I threw the body back into the mountain. Early tomorrow morning, it must have been eaten clean by wild wolves. If the beard is found, I must have thought that this bamboo shoot seed had not yet come down the mountain. He was eaten by wild wolves. Besides, who was he going to go without evidence? We can't do anything if we hide the food. Rest assured. Seeing Grandpa so calm, my grandmother is also a lot more steady. But I was still scared. until more than 10 o'clock in the evening, only to fall asleep in a daze. In the second half of the night, my grandma woke up. She heard faint cries in a daze. It seems that there are a lot of people babbling and singing. My grandma got dressed, get ready to get out and see. Suddenly, a hand was placed on his shoulder. My grandmother was so scared that she didn't dare to move. Look down. A man in mourning clothes knelt on the ground. And he said, "Have you seen my eldest grandson?" Then, he suddenly looked up. I saw an old lady with a wrinkled face. Frightened, my grandmother quickly woke up my grandfather and said to him, there was an old lady with a pale face crying. My grandfather also said to my grandmother impatiently, "You're sleeping. Sling the bowl." Take a good look. How can anyone cry and mourn? My grandfather hasn't finished his sentence yet. Then I heard another strange cry outside. The two of them looked at each other. No one spoke. Afterward, where my grandfather was bold. Look out the window. This look. It almost scared my grandfather out of his mind. In this dark courtyard, kneeling were 24 men dressed in white. All of them were dressed in linen and smiling, wears a pointed white hat. That's what they cried. And each of these people has a thief's eyebrow. After they cried a few times, kowtow in the direction of the back mountain, then he continued to cry. In the yard in the middle of the night, suddenly, out of thin air, there were so many people crying. This face. It's really amazing. Deities. My grandfather and grandmother were scared. Where have they seen such a formation? Fortunately, my grandfather quickly came to his senses. He blocked all the windows. It's up to the sun again. After having a light, let the two of them feel a little safer. My grandmother is on the Kong. Hold the quilt tightly. Tell Grandpa what to do. My grandfather couldn't say anything about it. I'll talk about it when it's dawn. Early tomorrow morning, I'm going to take a trip to Nianzi Mountain. A grandfather who experienced a night of paranormal events. Next day, bring a bag of sorghum rice in the morning, and a jar of liquor, and went out. Burmese Mountain belongs to Yumai in the Great Kingin Mountains. At the foot of the mountain, there are capable men. His name is Lu Shuqing. Everyone else calls him Mr. Lu. He opened a coffin shop in the village. It's a dead man's business. He can pinch and calculate. Dedicated to Feng Shui for the poor people in the vicinity, whose family has a happy event. We'll find him to set a date. At the same time, he is also proficient in the art of exorcism. Even the beard gathered a few points for him. But Mr. Lu has a little problem. Temper fatigue. Meet people you can't get used to. Saying anything won't help. And extremely good wine. Lunch is not happy. It is said that he often got drunk during the day and into the night, and even go out to help people watch things. It is also a winegourd that does not leave the hand. He was once seen drinking on his own, but 2 bowls were arranged, and also talking to himself. Later, everyone also knew that he could pass the yin after drinking, so he had another nickname. It's called Drunken Stream, because he can deal with ghosts after drinking too much. My grandfather went to Nianzi Mountain this time. I want to invite this Mr. Lu. He and my grandfather had the same smell. Both love to drink. The two call each other brothers. Walk around every New Year's holiday. It's an iron buddy. But when Grandpa arrived at Lu's house, he found out. At this time, Mr. Lu was already drunk and unconscious. My grandfather and Mr. Lu's daughter-in-law, after talking about what happened to the family, said, "Don't be afraid. I understand that. I'm afraid only your eldest brother has a way. But this damn ghost, I don't know when I'm going to get drunk. Didn't you come by car? Pull him to your Zhu house and cut him down." My grandfather said worriedly, "That's not going to work. Now it's dead cold outside. Don't animate the big brother. That's sister-in-law of the Lu family. I don't care. It's okay. When did he drink too much outside? It's not like I'm sleeping outside." Immobilized. Although that being said, Lu Chi still turned out a few cotton clothes. I took out a few more quilts. Wrap Mr. Lu. Let Grandpa take Mr. Lu back quickly. Grandpa understood at this time. Where is there any truth that cannot be moved? He couldn't bear to watch his grandparents suffer from the unexpected. My grandfather then knelt down for Lu Chi and said, "Sister-in-law, thank you. I'm not going to say anything." After packing, Lu Chi put a large box on the car again. He told my grandfather inside. It's something that Mr. Lu used to catch ghosts. Don't move. Later my grandfather found out. There were tools in that box. There was also a bag of rice that my grandfather had sent to his house, and a jar of wine. Mr. Lu's daughter-in-law also knew. Grandpa's family is not well off, so I put things back in. This kindness was remembered by my grandfather for a lifetime. Later, he taught me about it. The story is told back home. My grandmother was anxiously waiting for my grandfather to come back. It was getting dark. Still nowhere to be seen of my grandfather. Wait. Sitting on the Kong, he fell asleep in a daze. In his dream, he saw the old lady in a school uniform and a white hat again, and also said to him gloomily, "You look for someone. I'm not afraid of you. My grandson's vengeance must be avenged." After saying that, he let out a ghost laugh and left. Just when my grandma was still in a nightmare, my grandfather's voice came back to interrupt his dreams. My grandmother hurried out of the room to greet her. When I saw Mr. Liu in the carriage, he's also a bit fierce. Grandpa explained. The eldest brother drank too much and didn't wake up yet. My sister-in-law is afraid that something will happen to us. Just let me pull him back. Talking about the two of them, carried Mr. Liu into the house. And Grandma also told Grandpa, "I just dreamed about that old lady." Said he knew we were looking for someone. But revenge is still necessary. What a mess. Grandpa also said helplessly, "Big brother is here. Wait until he wakes up. Everything is easy to say." After dark, the terrible cry was heard again in the house. Grandpa and Grandma were so scared that they broke out in a cold sweat, because Mr. Liu has not sobered up yet. The two of them also don't know what to do. But this voice today, it seems to be different from yesterday. It's like magic. But my grandpa and grandma, inability to control one's own body. And they also killed each other, choke each other's necks. It's at this critical juncture, Mr. Liu suddenly yelled, "What a fuss. Don't you see I'm sleeping?" Grandpa and Grandma at this time, he also came to his senses with his voice. They were also puzzled. I had no idea what had just happened. Then, Mr. Liu also got out of his trouser pocket. "Take out something. Let Grandpa stick it upside down, on the north side of the window. The rest will be discussed tomorrow." Grandpa took it and took a look. It's actually a blessing word, although the two of them don't know. Does it work? But Grandma hurriedly pasted it on the window. Sure enough, there was nothing wrong overnight after sticking it up. The next day it was just dawn. Mr. Liu finally woke up. My grandmother also hurriedly fetched water for him to wash his face. Hot dishes and hot meals. Mr. Liu met his grandparents. It's also a smile. Then he said to his grandfather, "Dad, let you see my brother's sin. What a shame. There is Lao to take care of. Don't blame your brother. I really didn't have time to wake up last night. It turned out 2 days ago. Mr. Liu helped select a cemetery. The family invited him for a drink. After drinking half a pound of wine, it's getting late. Then he took his leave. On the way home, I met an acquaintance, Lao Wang too. But this old king, he had already died the year before last. Mr. Liu was curious. Why hasn't he been reincarnated yet? Just come forward and asked. Unexpectedly, this old king's head. He did a lot of good things in his life. After death to the underworld, just like a ghost. Specialize in assisting with bullheads and horse noodles. Black and white impermanence is fascinating. Someone in the village is sick today. Take advantage of impermanence to hook the soul. I took half a day off. I want to come back and see my family. Because of those who eat the bread of hell. Tell a secret. 3 shortages. The so-called fraud is the view. Hang. Solitary. Oh, miserable. The 3 deficiencies refer to money, life, and Mr. Liu's crime is a lack of life. It must be short-lived. In this world, only those who are truly proficient in 3 Qing books, among them, the people of Qingmen and fortune hunting. Only then can we know the destiny of heaven through a certain formation. Originally, it was difficult to meet ghosts. I met again today and got acquainted. Mr. Liu moved. Through the Yin difference, I know the thoughts of my young longevity. Later, Mr. Liu invited old man Wang to drink Yin wine. Also burned some paper money for Yin Sha. They were accommodating, and revealed Mr. Liu's longevity. But this Yin wine is no better than ordinary spirits. That thing can't move if you drink too much. I can only lie down like that. Mr. Liu was sober last night. But the body can't move. He also tried his best. I handed the rune out. At this time, my grandfather also hurriedly asked, "How long does Mr. Liu's young life have left?" Mr. Liu also replied calmly, "There are 2 years left. If you don't eat Hades in the future, it is estimated that there will be 2 more years." After listening to Mr. Liu's answer, my grandfather was also shocked. Then how can I still let my brother do the business of picking up young show? Mr. Liu also had an open expression. Said to my grandfather, "If it's our own brother's business, don't care, even if I can live another 5 years. It's also white. After bringing the 9 clans rice castle, take me to see the body of the blind Lu Zi first." My grandfather and Mr. Liu, after the 9 clans rice castle, come to the foot of the mountain where the body was dumped. Mr. Liu, however, found a problem. Because the corpse of the day was thrown away on weekdays, it will definitely be gnawed clean by wild wolves. But the body was still intact. There are indeed quirks. Mr. Liu asked his grandfather for the matching knife he had brought with him. Then he sliced open the corpse's stomach with all his might. I saw the man in his belly. There was also the corpse of a yellow-skinned man. Grandpa was also puzzled. Why do people still have yellow skin in their stomachs? At this time, Mr. Liu said, "It's a big problem." Then Mr. Liu took the weasel, pulled out of the corpse, and I asked my grandfather to find some pine branches and burn them. After doing this, it's noon. The two of them went home. During the meal, Mr. Liu took a sip of wine. Dr. Sai said, "It's not good. The yellow skin has harmed people for 3 generations. They are extremely vindictive. If you're targeted, you can't run away. It's just that if you can't hold your head in this generation, an evil to your son or grandson. Due to the large number of yellow skins in the mountains behind this, unless blood is paid by blood, or after the 4th generation of your family appears, this feud will end. But now I can keep a good family. There is only one way. But the symptoms are not the root causes. I want to end this grudge. Not in your generation. It has to be passed down from generation to generation, until your grandchildren's generation." Here. My grandfather was also very confused. Subsequently, Mr. Liu decided. He went to the back mountain at night. Go negotiate with him first. Afterwards, my family needs to offer him incense. Then I will give my grandfather a blessing, worn by the youngest person in my family. You can keep safe, but the spell must not get wet. After listening to Mr. Liu, my grandfather and grandmother's hearts finally fell to the ground. So I hurriedly thanked Mr. Liu, and take the talisman. Listened to my grandmother. That same evening, Mr. Liu went out alone with incense and candles. Don't let my grandparents follow. About 2 hours later, I came back a little tired. Since that day, we have one more tablet in our house. It reads the position of Mrs. Huang's 3rd wife. Afterwards, the grandparents have always followed Mr. Liu's method. Sure enough, it was safe and sound. Until later, my birth. The purse with the charm in it. It also passed on to my hands. My name is Chui Wufei. Fly for nothing. This is where my story begins. My name is Chui Wufei. Due to poor studying, simply in our county, a vocational high school with an art class. This morning, the head teacher told us, I'm going to go outdoor sketching. Anyone who has studied art knows it. Sketching is actually a tour of the mountains and rivers. As expected, our sketch today is girls cooking. Boys catch frogs. Half an hour later, me and a classmate named Yang Su. I caught 30 or 40 of them in one go. Everybody tested the frog, sipping beer, started today's happy life. An hour later, I suddenly felt an urge to urinate. In the taunts of classmates, I walked towards the river, and they still called, let me catch a few more frogs. Naturally, I wasn't happy about it. Just at my convenience, suddenly I found a big herring in the river. I think, if you can catch this big fish back, that will definitely be able to stand out in front of your classmates. Thinking about it, I ran into the river. Suddenly my feet slipped. The whole body fell into the water. Just when I wanted to get up, sudden discovery. How could this river be so deep? Isn't this a diving bubble? I want to shout for help, but he couldn't open his mouth. Then, I looked to the shore. Sudden discovery. An old lady in a white hat. And her eyes, still staring at me, and put a horrible smile on me. There is a folk legend. Tell the water ghost to find a kick. Water ghosts will turn into big fish. What it looks like to be trapped in a shallow pool. People passing by, if you don't forget the fire on your body, will be deceived by such illusions and go into the water to catch fish. This looks like shallow water. In fact, the water level is extremely deep. Just when I lost consciousness, I don't know how long it took. Set up, look for oxygen. I fell into the water just now. And it's still wet. Did I cross over? That's when I found myself on a street. The pedestrians on the road all walked in one direction with their heads down. I asked an old man where this was. The old man turned around. It almost scared the hell out of me. I rubbed what this is going on. That's when I noticed the clothes these pedestrians were wearing. I think I've seen it in a wreath shop on the street. They were dressed in animal clothes. I thought to myself, these people can't all be ghosts. To figure out where I am, I decided to go to the front first. After walking for a while, I saw a man sleeping in the booth in front of me. I thought to myself, this person must not be simple. I knocked on the table to wake the man up. Then, he suddenly circled around me several times and said to me, it's amazing. Do you know where this is? How dare you sneak here? I also hurriedly asked him, I don't know. Can you tell me? I saw him point to the plaque above and said, "It's not a lot of nonsense here. And you're supposed to be dead." "Impossible. I'm still alive." The uncle asked me to see it again. "There is no difference between the surrounding environment and the sun. And let me touch my heartbeat. It's not 3 long jumps, 2 short jumps." I touched it carefully. It's really like what he said. Am I really dead? Just when I doubt myself, whether or not it is really already dead. The man's abrupt words. I felt a turnaround. I jerked his shoulders, asked him if I can still be saved. "How did you get here?" After the uncle asked me to sit down, "Tell me, it's good to call him Uncle Nine in the future." He also introduced it to me. There are 3 worlds of gods, ghosts, and people in this world. There are many connections between the 3 realms. And I'm on Earth right now, English style between the underworld. The soul of a person after death. First of all, he had to be brought to England by the devil. Then go to the half-step multi-inn. All souls will go in and claim it, belong to their ghost hearts. After receiving a ghost heart and coming out again, that's when you become a real ghost. After becoming a ghost, then take a dedicated train to the prefecture. After listening there, I fell. After listening to Uncle Ju say this, I was really in a state of fierce face. I wondered what it was. Fantasy novels. If I die. Grandma, how sad they are. At this time, Uncle Nine said, "You're dead, though. But it's not dead yet. Because I still have a heartbeat." He asked me to write down my birthday. And I'm talking about what happened to me before I was alive. I don't dare to be sloppy. Hurry up and give him my 8 characters. He pinched his fingers and said, "You should have been blackmailed." Fortunately, it didn't take long to fall into the water. The body should still be in the hospital now. So the 3 souls and 7 spirits left 1 soul and 5 souls came here. I nervously looked at the purse on my chest. Could it be that the stories my grandmother told me are true? When I fell overboard, the old woman I saw was Mrs. Huang San. I hurriedly opened my purse. I saw that the spell inside had been completely lost. I thought to myself, "Finished. This is my life-saving thing." At this time, Uncle Nan recognized it at a glance. This charm is a mountain and heaven-opening charm to vibrate. At the same time, he asked me, "Where did this spell come from?" You can see it. Uncle Nine is very concerned about the charms in my purse. I'll take the story of my grandparents. Tell him about it. After listening to my story, he also praised Mr. Liu as a master. I was able to make up the calculations. The portrait is painted as a charm. It can be seen that Mr. Liu's countdown. It's almost time to enter the realm. Then, Uncle Nine suddenly said seriously, asked me whether you are willing to worship him as a teacher. And he said after apprenticeship, I can still go back to the young world. I didn't even think about getting on my knees. I engraved 3 ideas for Uncle Nine. Uncle Nine also said very happily, "All right. It's not in vain. I won't have to wait for many years. I have finally found the inheritor of this craft." Right after my apprenticeship, Uncle Nine also told me about his experience. When the 9th uncle was 7 years old, his parents died in the war. Later, he was favored by a wandering Taoist priest, so they took him as a disciple. The first uncle of the 9th is a Maoshanro tree. Later, he put the most precious 3 clear spells of this sect. Teach it to him. Uncle Nine also lived up to expectations. Just a dozen years later, you can subdue demons and enchant demons alone. When Uncle Nine was 25 years old, his master and sister ascended to heaven. The 9th uncle inherited a wave and traveled all over the world. He had no children and no daughters in his life. Only 2 apprentices were accepted. But because these 2 apprentices are not compatible, he didn't teach the Sanqing talisman to the 2 of them for a long time. Until March 1975, the 3 masters and apprentices traveled to Liaoning, discover a 1,000-year-old Lion King. Since the Lion King has been invulnerable, with the strength of the 3 of the 9th uncle, he couldn't be eliminated at all. In the end, Uncle Nine had no choice but to let the apprentices seal the entrance to the cave, then sacrifice the lion water relief charm in the 3 clear talismans, at the cost of their own lives. Finally, he pulled the man out of the cave. Because it was too sudden at the time, Uncle Nine didn't have time to pass down the Sanqing talisman. In order to survive, he's at this stall of English pleasure, waiting for the arrival of those who have the opportunity to return to the young. Until today, I met this Dongmaiden. The story comes back. I asked Uncle Nine, "If you give me all his skills, won't it be too late?" Uncle Nine said that I am now soul, sending things quickly. Basically, it will lead me into the Tao in 10 days. I was horrified. 10 days? Then I won't be cool sooner. See my worries. Uncle Nine also explained to me the 12 days of Hades. That is, the 12 hours of the sun. 2 days later, I'll help you give your family dreams. When the time comes, let them put a yellow chicken to guide you. You're sitting on a yellow chicken. You can return to the Yang world. After studying with Uncle Nine for 2 days, he said to me, this time is Yang Jian's ugly time. Yin energy is the strongest. I will now guide you to give your family dreams and tell you how to get your family ready. I saw Uncle Nine draw paper into a sword and pointed at my forehead. Suddenly, I saw my grandmother in her sleep. He was very excited to see me, but due to time constraints, I hurried to tell my grandmother, I still have a way to return the Yang. I'll let Grandma have it tomorrow afternoon, on a yellow chicken. Write my name and date of birth. Then tie the chicken feet with red string. Wait until near the intersection to let go of the chickens. Let Huangji run 90 meters later. After yelling my name 9 times, shutting quickly, then put the chickens in my hospital room. I'll wake up, waiting for me to explain these things to my grandmother. My soul has returned to Yin. In the days that followed, I followed Uncle Nine to learn Tao mathematics. But Uncle Nine told me, before leading me into the Tao, must tell me one thing. That is, after entering the Tao, there will definitely be fraud, one of 3 defects. He asked me if I really wanted to enter the Tao. I'll be honest too. Actually, I didn't think about it, because I don't know. What you can do is to serve the weak in addition to the strong. But my grandfather was educated from an early age. I want to repay the gratitude. Besides, the master is in the middle of the door. Been waiting for so many years. Even if I repay you for saving your life, I must also pass on this skill. After Uncle Nine saw my affirmative answer, suddenly, his hands squeezed, and the fingertips shine brightly. Say to me, all right, today's teacher will lead you to the Tao. After I entered the Tao, Master said to me, so-called Taoism, it is to borrow weapons from nature, to do what ordinary people can't do. In the most basic method of gathering and abandoning in Taoism, it's the art of spells. And in the 3 Xing books that Master passed on to me, the main thing is this method of drawing symbols. Over the next 2 days, Master told me to practice diligently. I practiced after a day. You can also draw scoop with a gourd. I can see a little bit of it. Subsequently, I'll give it to Master too. Told a lot of modern anecdotes. He listened. It also shows an incredible look. I envious too. Now live peacefully. Then, Master suddenly handed me one. A note with his birthday written on it. Told me, open on the way back to the ocean. Wait until after me. After the palace is a little more refined. Available on the 15th night of each month. Smear the mirror with well water. You can meet him in the underworld. Underworld. Master is no longer setting up a stall in the English style. I asked, confused. Master said that he was now on his mind. Suddenly, a circle of light appeared in the sky. Then a huge rooster fell from the sky and ran in front of me as fast as he could. Master also said to me at this time, let's go. This is the big that takes you home. After a few days of getting along, I'm really a little reluctant, Master. My master said, kneeling on the ground. The apprentice is leaving. You must take care of yourself. When I stepped on the back of the big, Master instructed me again. Wants to pull you down. No matter what happens, don't look back. Once you turn around, all the work is lost. At this time, the big rooster turned around and ran. Master's housewife also floated from behind me. He told me to work hard to cultivate. Don't deceive people with countdowns. Then I opened the note that Master had given me. When I saw that the Master was originally called Wei Fengxiao, that's a motherly name. No wonder I had to open it again on the way back. I'm afraid this old man will lose face. Big one accelerated. Master's 8 characters were also detached from my hands and burn up. That's when I saw my grandmother behind me. I reacted in time after the trip. This must be an illusion. I definitely can't go back. After running like this for a while, suddenly, the screen changed. I actually ran to the place where I used to sketch. Have I already reached the sun? But the big didn't stop at this time. It's still running forward. Suddenly, I saw Guanyu, the goddess of our class, under the tree. And still smiling at me. The kind that smiles sweetly. Oh, she also had to undress. I thought to myself, other chicken, slow down. Although I know it's fake. But you also let me protect my eyes. A ghost on the way back to the soul. It's so understanding. Too knowing. What I want. Actually transformed into our class flower. I'm a big eye catcher. Just when Guanyu was about to take off his last clothes, the big ran over the top. I try to see as much as I can. At that moment, I felt like my eyes were cramping. It's a shame. It's just a little bit. I almost saw it all. No way. To stay alive. I still control myself and never turn back. Then, I saw the hospital gate right in front of me. As long as I hold on, I can return the yang. Brother Chicken is also fast through the crowd, dragged me, and ran in the direction of the ward. Suddenly, Master appeared behind me, and he said that there was one thing for me. Hear Master's voice. I also let my guard down. Turning around, he asked, "What's the matter, Master?" When I looked back, where's the Master? It was obviously Huang Santai's grandmother's illusion. I saw that Huang Santai's grandmother stretched out countless ghost hands and grabbed me. I'm really unwilling. They have already run to the hospital bed. It's going to be back in the air. But the last step was wasted. Maybe the big feels sorry for me too. I saw her turn around and pounce on Mrs. Huang San, and let out a burst of screams. Take advantage of the emptiness. I also take hold of my own flesh. And I snapped my eyes open. At that time, I felt like I had spilled all over my body. The brain is also swollen. My father also quickly called a doctor. After the inspection, luckily, I woke up in time. Otherwise, I'm probably going to be in a vegetative state in the future. Then, I see it too. The big that's dead. Father said he had just carried him into the ward, after he screamed, and he died. In order to remember the life-saving grace of the big. Since then, I never ate chicken again. After 2 weeks of recuperation, I was finally discharged from the hospital and returned home. And that very night, I had a dream. I dreamed of Mrs. Huang San, amiable appearance, and then say to me, "Revenge has been avenged. It's also your life that you don't deserve. From now on, I am your family's protector." Early the next morning, I put incense on the ranking of Mrs. Huang's third wife. I went to school. Something had to be done today. On the way back to the soul, obviously, you can almost see Guan Yu's body. So I must confess to Guan Yu today. After coming to school, I pretended to be cool, freeze Guan Yu in the corner, and say to him, "Actually, I noticed you early on. I like you. Be my girlfriend." I saw that he couldn't speak excitedly. At that moment I felt, he has been conquered by my charm. Who would have thought that he already had a boyfriend? And right now standing behind me, look at it all. Due to the difference in our stature, I turned and ran. But I still can't avoid a fat beating. I understood at that moment, Guan Yu and I are inseparable after all. Bye, my youth. Bye, my love. The so-called Saiyan lost his horse. Looks are not blessed, although Guan Yu ruthlessly rejected me. But it allowed me to meet my true first love. Her name is Du Feiyu. People live up to their name. It's also a girl with online appearance. Originally, I thought that my first love would bring me some surprises. But I didn't expect that after all. I thought too much. She asked me to help with the food every day, or buy a snack after class to replenish your nutrition. I had physical contact with her. It's only because she's tired of talking in class. I rubbed her shoulders with her back. Originally, I thought, the days went on like this. It's a girlfriend anyway. Until one summer night, a head teacher, Lao Zhang, invited us to dinner. I dropped her off on my way home. Something happened. Du Feiyu that day looks absent-minded, and I was embarrassed to talk nonsense with her. Suddenly, she vomited on the side of the road. I'm also concerned. Hand her the water and say it to her. "You're drinking. Let's drink less in the future." She was at this time also resting his head on my shoulder. Just what I thought. We will both be under the influence of alcohol. When something happens in the depths, his tears were dripping down my legs. And the more I cried, the more sad I became. For this case, I do have less experience. I'm also in a hurry. Don't know whether to wind a watch or bark at the moon. Then he said to me, "You're a good guy." But I was bullied by men when I was a kid. He was a friend of mine in junior high school. After that happened, I just transferred here. But I hate men. I hate all men. At the very beginning, I'm just too hard to get through alone. That's why I made you my boyfriend. I'm so bad for you. But after such a long time, you still tolerate me as you did at the beginning. Do you know? Actually, at that moment, I didn't know if it was worth it or not. Maybe it's because I've been through life and death. It made me understand what it means to cherish. I said to him, "Don't think about the past. As long as you are alive, you will pass. Believe me." Then he came to me. For a virgin, that feeling is really subtle. While I was still intoxicated, he said it was too late. Let me send him back. Since then, Ayu returned to her previous state. Still won't let me touch him. But I can feel it. The number of times he smiled at me every day gradually increased. Maybe it's love. But then came the one. It's a new problem. That's the college entrance examination. Because I died once, I don't have a high memory. To add insult to injury, don't say let me go to university now. It's a junior college. Probably all problems. But as the saying goes, cats have catwalks. Rats have rat paths. We are cultivators. Naturally, there are also side doors. I decided on the 15th of this month. Ask Master if there is anything he can do. I took out the mirror and smear it with well water. Then I read it 3 times. Master's name. Then on that mirror, the shadow of the Master loomed near. Master also asked with concern when he saw me, have I had a good rest lately? But today, I really want to ask Master, for exams, are there any spells in this door? Can help me through Master's method. Sure enough, I saw him in the mirror. I hurried to the point of emptiness, say I miss him so much, and asked if he was okay in the underworld. Master also proudly said to me, he got a job in the underworld, so I don't have to worry about it. And at this time, Master also saw it. I don't just miss it. There must be something else looking for him. I scratched my head. Embarrassed to say, I can't hide anything from Master. Soon after, your apprentice is about to face a big pickup. It was a big test of life. And there you have it. So, Buddha just asked Master for advice. Is there anything that can be remembered instantly? The spells contained in the book, so that I can use it in the face of the catastrophe. After hearing my appeal, remember Master in the mirror. He yelled at me. It was as if he was going to rush out and hit me. Not much. Master calmed down. Tell me it's called opportunism. A man of the word. Don't set your mind on such things. Seeing Master's attitude, I'm done thinking. This old man is really angry. Fooling doesn't work. Then you can only move with emotion. I quickly stabilized Master and said to him, since the return of the yang, ancient impact is damaged. I can't remember any words now, although it has been working on it, but it still didn't work. If I were alone, it's bitter, it's harder, but I still have relatives. My family isn't rich. Hear me say that. Master also sighed helplessly. Then he taught me to draw an extraneous charm, the so-called out-of-the-box talisman. It's just a charm that doesn't belong to the authentic one. It's not very powerful though, but there are some quirky effects. Master passed on this talisman to me. 16 awakening flower charms, specially used for plastic collection. Just hold it in your hand. Something I've seen. It can be remembered. There you have it. The exam was the same for me. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, it is the eve of the exam, since there is no test center in our small county. So you can only take the train to Chichihar. I wasn't nervous at all while sitting in the car. Fall asleep. The classmate next to me also reminded me, if you can't get into college, Du Feiyu may break up with me. I also smiled at him. Calm down. Those who should be admitted will always be admitted. Girlfriends too. If it's mine, I can't run. Finally, we arrived at the exam room. I thought to myself, as long as I finish the exam, my wonderful university life is about to begin. Just when I was complacent, suddenly, Lao Shi's hand snapped, slapped on my desk, and asked me what I was holding in my hand. My mood at this time, it's even more exciting than riding a roller coaster. There's no way to prove it. I'm not trying to pass the note. I can only give the charm to the teacher. The teacher opened it and looked at it. I don't know what is painted on it. Just after a simple education for me, and he left. Lose the help of the charm. I was slammed at this point, for the symbol on the roll. Basically, I don't know each other. I thought to myself, this time it's definitely playing with calves. On the train back, I'm listless. I saw my classmates arguing around. I decided to find a spare seat and sleep for a while. So much prepared. In the end, it was all for nothing. Then, Guan Yu suddenly sat down beside me and said to me, in the 3 years of high school, he always thought I was a very interesting person. Let me not be pessimistic. As long as you can still breathe, there must still be hope. Then, I didn't listen to what he had to say, because I've been staring at his chest. He also asked me what I was looking at. Why do you still have nosebleeds? I quickly explained that I didn't read anything. It could be a nosebleed that was too hot. Subsequently, Guan Yu looked down at himself. Only then did I understand what was going on, and shouted loudly, "Rushify, you bastard. My name is Chui Zuofei. Just finished the college entrance examination, then get on the train back to Longjiang," chatting with Guan Yu, and he fell asleep. When I wake up, found that Guan Yu didn't know when, also fell asleep by me. In the view from the chest, let me see it all. I whispered to wake him up. Unexpectedly, after he changed his movements, it's even more spring. I quickly closed my eyes. I thought to myself that I already had Au, It must be a non-gift thing. Just when I was thinking a little carefully, when you want to take a sneak peek, Ayu was suddenly behind, in a deep voice, calling my name. Wait for me to turn my head. After seeing his piercing eyes, I feel like I have 100 mouths at this point, and I can't explain it. Then Ayu cried and ran to the lower entrance. I quickly stood up and shouted, "Oh, don't go, this is a misunderstanding." I didn't catch up with him that day, because the crowds are too crowded. By the time I got to the exit, he had already taken a taxi and left. That's it. I stood in front of the train station for a long time. I went home with a heavy heart. Today's dishes at home are hearty, but I didn't have an appetite at all. At the dinner table, I kept calling Du Feiyu, but he never answered. When I want to put my phone down, I found out, why is my mom not at home? Then, Dad also reluctantly told me, "Dumbo. Something. We can't keep it a secret from you. You're older too. Something. You should know too." That's it. He showed me a divorce agreement. This moment, I really don't believe it. It would have been a perfect family. Say scattered, disperse. Dad told me, it turns out that there are already people outside my mother. So many years. They've been making do. Now I'm grown up too. There's no need for them to make do any longer. I didn't blame my father, because he is also a victim. I don't blame my mother either, because he has the right to pursue his own happiness. I just don't get it. Why is everything the way it is? In the days that followed, I don't want to meet Du Feiyu either, because there is no mood and experience. Explain it to him. Then the test results came out. Du Feiyu did well in the exam, entered a university in Harbin, and I didn't miss the list without any suspense. I called him that day. He only said one thing to me: leave on the morning of the 10th of the next month. Look at the phone. He hung up. I'm not so sure. It's not forgiving me. At night, I talked to my dad for a while, prepared to make up for the 3 colleges and universities at Harbin. Although I can't go to any good school with this grade, but as long as you can be closer to Ayu and Harbin. My dad said I'm grown up. Have the right to choose for yourself, as long as you don't regret it. That's it. 12 mornings I ran to the train station. After sending Du Feiyu on the train, I wrote an equal word on the window. I guess that's what I mean so bluntly. He should be able to understand. Then he laughed. In my memory, that was the last time I saw him laugh. Wait until the day I start school in September. I quickly made a call to Du Feiyu and tell him happily. I also came to Harbin to go to school. I just moved into my dorm today, but today I need to clean up first. Let's see each other in a few days. Just when I was basking in joy, suddenly there was a sentence on the other side of the phone. Let's break up. At this point, I felt like I had been struck by lightning. I couldn't believe it. The words that my ears heard. I quickly explained to him the situation that day. Ayu on the other side of the phone didn't listen at all. I don't need to explain it. I already have a new boyfriend. Please don't call me in the future. That's it. I fell out of love on my first day at university. Then, I was thinking about my departure from my grandma and dad. Give up repeating. I don't even bother to jump at school. That's how I came to Harbin. What the hell is the picture? My name is Chui Zuofei. I fell out of love on my first day of college. A sudden breakup. I was at the time, fell into a decadence for a long time. During that time, I lived in the dormitory every day, in the life of the internet cafe at 2 points and 1 line. Addicted to non-mainstream game competition troops. Even the master called me the third parent. I also left it behind. Later roommates. He also gave me a nickname. It's called the Waste Man Chui. This kind of day, it lasted almost a month, until I met an old classmate. Something strange happened. I was so excited to play the game that day, and he shouted out loudly. Suddenly I don't know which guy doesn't have long eyes. Slapped me on the head. I rub. Who hit me? I turned my head to look. Isn't this Dong Shanchan? She was my high school classmate. I didn't expect her to be in Harbin too. Since I met it is inevitable to reminisce about the past. Then we went to the barbecue stall together. Just sat down. Dong Shanchan asked me, I haven't seen you in months. How did it become so decadent? Also dyed with blue hair. What the hell is going on? To be like this? I picked up the cup. Scratching his head, he said helplessly. It's hard to put into words. Maybe it's the reunion of old classmates. I breathed a sigh of relief that day. Take this time to your own experience. I told him everything. After he listened, it's also incredible. Then he said, it's really hard for you. Feelings. No one can be blamed. Let's take a look. It will be fine in a few days. Maybe you've been in numerology for the past 2 years. The speaker has no intention. The listener is intentional. What he said unintentionally reminds me. Master once said, a man of the path. The fate of the offender must be 3 and 3 true. Could it be said? It's worked. Wait to get back. Be sure to ask Master. Just as I was thinking, suddenly there was a message from the side. Bang. Just in the beginning, I thought it was someone throwing something from a high altitude. There's a barbecue stand down here. Then, the crowd gradually gathered around. Some people said to call the police and call an ambulance. I didn't find out until I got closer. Where is this high-altitude projectile? Someone jumped off the building. Dong Shanshan told me. Half a month in this building. 2 people have already fallen to their deaths. Hear this. I was shocked. The people around who are watching the excitement are also talking. This building is a bit of an evil door. Half a month ago, I said I was going to dismantle it. As a result, one fell to his death on the same day. Saw Dong Shanshan's scared look. We decided to get out of here first. I said I was going to send her back. She said no. Their dormitory was right in front. Let me go back early. That's it. I scratched my head and said, alright, then I'll go first. At this time, Dong Shanshan also looked helpless. It was meant to be polite. I didn't expect to let her go alone. Then I went to the supermarket. Bought a bag of salt from the owner. There is also a bottle of 2-pot head. Because I've already entered it. Have a keen intuition about these things. I always feel like this fall from a building. 80% of them are unclean stuff involved. Although I can't see them directly with the naked eye. But in the Sanching book, but there are many auxiliary means recorded. Tell me. So I hurried to find a place where no one was. With the material I just bought, use the Ingzhou water willow leaf method. Willow is a genus of English. Line 9 is yang. Yin can be blended, and the two are compatible with yin and yang. Finally mix out the willow leaves. It will help me to open my yin and yang eyes. I saw me babbling. Yin girl looting. Defend me. Yang male raka. Protect my soul. Open your eyes. Haste as a law. My name is Chui Zuofei. Just had dinner with my classmates. A man in front of us. Jumped from the 7th floor. Avoided on the spot. Listen to the people around you. This is already the 2nd jump this month. My gut tells me, there must be a ghost at work in this. In order to maintain justice after entering the Tao, I decided to open my eyes and find out. I thought I had opened the eyes of heaven. See how different the world will be. Now it seems that there is nothing special. I thought to myself, it may be that the street is too popular. Soon after, I arrived at the scene of the fall. I remembered what the crowd had just said. Both fell from the 7th floor. Just after I looked to the 7th floor, I was so scared that I broke out in a cold sweat. Through the yin and yang eyes, I could see the whole building, all surrounded by a cloud of black gas. There was a female ghost dressed in yellow standing in the window. I rub. Is this the ghost? Then, I thought to myself, let's go back first. I don't even know what level she is. As far as I am now, you can't be reckless. Let's ask Master first. What should I do? Wait until after nightfall. I took out the well water I brought from my hometown. Quickly apply it to a mirror. I said silently in my heart, Wei Feng Jiao, Wei Feng Jiao. On the mirror of this day, immediately, there was the shadow of the master. He asked me, Umbo, long time no see. What's the matter with Wei Shi this time? Wait until Xiaofei. Master Wei saw that you were in a trance. The expression is disobedient. And how the hair turned blue. Are you poisoned? I hurriedly explained to Master. Master, don't worry. I've been having a problem lately. I can fix it though. This hair was dyed like this. It's fashionable. I saw that after the master listened to my explanation, I was so angry that I only trembled. Then he yelled at me. As an orthodox descendant of my door, how can you be so frivolous? Shave me right away. I also hastened to admit my mistake to master. Said that it would be dyed back tomorrow. You degas first. Only then did master slowly dissipate his anger. I hurriedly said to master, this afternoon, I met a female ghost in yellow. Since I can't see the front of the body, so I didn't dare to act rashly. Master told me, the female ghost should be a sinister thing. Let me prepare the mantra right away, lest she harm again. However, this female ghost belongs to the more difficult type to deal with. It must be born at the time of the Yin, and it can only be formed when it dies in the midst of the Yin. My master was in Handan during the Republic of China. I saw a girl whose whole family was killed, and saw his parents stabbed to death with a knife by the murderer. Since she was born on May 5th, lose your mind after death, mutilating one party. In the end, it was destroyed by 18 eminent monks. At war, 3 monks died, after wounding 5 people, to destroy him. That's when I thought to myself, 18 to 1. 3 more were replaced. Just go up on my little body. It's completely for nothing. Now I'm going to kill the ghosts. That's all about sending people to death. Master continued, but you don't have to be afraid. I'm still dressed in yellow. It represents, he's not yet formed. The ghost at this time, not too lethal. But, you have to stop him from killing again. This female ghost kills 1 person each. The strength will increase by 3 points. Wait for the clothes on him. When it turns from yellow to blue, within a radius of 5 miles, we'll all be slaughtered by him. I hurried to ask Master for advice. What should I do to get rid of it? Master asked me, it depends on what you are most skilled at now. That's when I thought to myself, it's over. After returning to the young, in addition to the awakening used for cheating in exams, except the borrowing charm, it's only a fire talisman that I learned because it was fun. This time it's definitely dead. So I hurriedly explained the situation to Master. Call yourself stupid. I haven't learned any other spells yet. I saw Master scolding at me. Even the mirror cracked. You can imagine how angry he was at this time. I hurriedly asked Master to dissipate his anger. After all, it hurts the body. Master pinched his nose helplessly. Then I'll point you out a few talismans. Tomorrow you fight hard. Whether it can be achieved depends on the will of God. Seeing that Master is still willing to help me, I hasten to thank him. I'm afraid to regret that I don't care about it. My name is Chuizwufei. In order to subdue the harmful female ghost in yellow, I asked Master to call me a charm overnight. Although I haven't practiced for a long time. But fortunately, it was during the time of the English poem. I memorized an entire book of Sanqi. How all the charms in the book are drawn. I take it all to heart. In order to deal with the female ghost in yellow, to use please 6 Ding Liujia, the full symbol of the 12 gods. And I hit the rat wood. It is not easy to use fire charms. So pick out the 3 main charms. Let me draw it in one day. Master told me that these 3 talismans are 1 body protector, a flute, another bell yarn. Can you draw them in one day? It's up to me. Although Master is always angry with me, but this time, he's really bothered about me. After seeing that I already know how to deal with female ghosts, Master also warned me in the future, practice the art of charms a lot. With that, he turned around and disappeared. At this time, I secretly made up my mind. I won't let Master down. That's it. Wait until the next morning. I found a guest house. I pulled out a $100 ticket. A room was opened. Unexpectedly, the boss looked at me in surprise and asked, "Let's open a room alone." Seeing the boss actually look like me, I was so angry that I cried out to take the boat. Can't a single dog open a house? If not in the dormitory, there are many people and miscellaneous eyes, which is not suitable for the frame. I don't want to spend this unjust money. But angry is angry. I still have to hurry up and prepare. I took the yellow paper out of my bag. There is also the statue of Lin Baotianzuan. Just use your fingernails. Pricked my finger. Then his hand pinched the absolute Lin Baotianzuan, and he began to recite the word, undulating. Be fast. The posture should be handsome. Just as I was about to draw a stroke, suddenly in the next room, there was a whistle and no doubt. Just call me to break the gong. I glanced at my watch. It's only 9 o'clock. In front of Lin Baotianzuan. Are you not suitable? No way. In order to be able to defeat the female ghost at night, I tried to control my concentration. Can't be influenced by them. Just after I was halfway through the stroke, suddenly there was a shouting from the next door. It's even more rampant. The voice came straight to my ears. Can't concentrate at all. You're not done yet. Lao Tzu is going to work hard at night. No way. If you can't draw a spell today, I didn't stand a chance at all at night. I had to find a way to concentrate. I hurried to sit down on the bed, start chanting the mantra, convergence of the new gods. There are no distractions in the heart. Then he drew the spell with his pen. That's it. I did it in one go. Finally, in the evening, 7 talismans were drawn. There are 3 amulets. There are 2 slow talismans and broken charms. The results are not bad. Just as I was about to recharge my batteries. When you fight to the death with a female ghost at night. Dong Shanshan called suddenly. Wait until I get through. He heard her say, didn't you say yesterday that you would make an appointment another day? You won't forget it. I quickly explained to him. I didn't say it was today another day. I didn't expect Dong Shanshan to meet today. No way. I can only ask him to say a place. I'm going to rush over now. That's how the two of us meet. Come to Dongxing Video Game City. I didn't expect that. This Dong Shanshan is so good at playing arcade games. One Yagami saddle hit 3 of me. I asked him, how did you play so well? Dong Shanshan said, what is this? I played it when I was in high school. What? I played it when I was in high school. How? I don't know. Just listen to her. At that time, you didn't have anyone else in your eyes. My name is Chui Zuofei. The girl in front of her is Dong Shanshan. I was in high school. There is only Du Feiyu in his eyes. I never noticed anyone else around me. Just like Dong Shanshan. She's also a good girl. It's just that I haven't noticed. Then, I secretly decided in my heart. Wait until tonight to take the female ghost. Beck, just chase Dong Shanshan. When we came out of the arcade, it's already the middle of the night. I really didn't expect that. Her attainments in the King of Fighters will be so high. Today can basically be said to be playing with me. That's it. We walked and walked. They went downstairs to their bedroom. Because I still have to deal with the female ghost. He said to her, it's not too early. Go up and rest. Then, she asked me with a sudden red face. Although she is concubine, you next week. Will you come to me again? See her shy expression. At this point, I stumbled too. I don't know how to answer. I saw that her face became even redder. I quickly replied, of course I'll come. Wait for next time. I'll confess to you when I come. After speaking, I turned and walked away. Then he added, you must wait for me. Dong Shanshan also shouted at me at this time. It's cold. Take a taxi back in a moment. Be careful on the road. That's it. I happily walked towards the construction site. When I got to my destination, it's really dark and windy. Ghost hunting night. Hopefully I can deal with the female ghost smoothly. In this way, you can feel at ease. Confess to Dong Shanshan. Subsequently, I opened my yin and yang eyes. I have to say, yin qi at this time, it's more intense than during the day. I quickly used a body gown. I thought that I had this layer of protection. Isn't it just catching a female ghost? Look at how I killed all sides, sir. Don't say it. Walk in this corridor by yourself. I'm really scared. It always feels eerie. Suddenly I didn't know what I stepped on. There was a clicking sound under his feet. I was so scared that my flashlight fell to the ground. Damn it. It turned out to be just a piece of broken glass. I'm just scared of myself. When I calmed down a bit, the door to the next room suddenly opened on its own. I rubbed. Oh wait, and here it is. I wasn't prepared at all. The door opened. Are you beckoning me in? After all, this is my first time catching ghosts. To be honest, more or less. Still a little scared. But now that it's here, I'm going to have to go in and have a look. When I just walked to the door, I felt a very strong aura in my face. Fortunately, I used a bodysuit just now. Otherwise, the evil will enter the body. It is inevitable that you will get seriously ill. After the evil breath, I saw the female ghost sitting in front of the window, stupidly looking at the moon, motionless. Then, I don't think she's any threat. The moon is dark and the wind is high, catching ghosts at night. At this time, my yin and yang eyes also opened. Bodyguards were also used. But the female ghost kept looking at the moon outside, as if thinking about something. Damn it. The female ghost didn't even look back. They didn't take me seriously at all. But since she is so despised by the enemy, it was also a good opportunity for me to sneak attack. The armor in my hand wants to break the evil charm lightly. Just concentrate on the forehead of the ghost door. It doesn't matter how fierce you are. We'll be gone. I'll give you a taste of the power of this spell today. Since the female ghost is motionless, then I'll just walk over it. There shouldn't be any problem. I pretended I couldn't even see her. Give her a surprise attack when the time comes. As I slowly approached her, the female ghost suddenly turned to me and asked, can you see me? Eldest sister, don't turn your head suddenly. You look like this, but it's scary. I'm going to attack you. Now I'm glad I've seen through it. You say embarrassing, not embarrassing. Since he can speak, explain that there is also awareness. That is, I have a better chance of eliminating him. I hurried to break the awkward situation, said to him, Bulch, I can see you. When the female ghost heard this, He immediately stood up and said, "Finally found someone to talk to." Subsequently, and he moved before me. Then he stared at me stupidly. "Why can you see me?" And but they couldn't see it. I explained, "Because I'm a Mr. Yin-Yang. I saw you through spells." Then, he asked me again, "That Mr. Yin-Yang?" Seeing him ask my name, I was shocked, because the older generation has said it. When the ghost asks your name, don't say it. He will snatch your soul away. So I had a heartbeat. Said to him, "You can call me Chin-Aid." I saw the female ghost head up, after flipping an angle. Say to me, "Your name is Chin-Aid. That Chin-Aid. Would you like to hear my story?" I thought to myself, "Big sister. You have a 5-mile radius in your hands. All human lives. Now you're going to tell me a story. How would I say no?" Subsequently, the female ghost began. She has fond memories. Summer of '96. I fell in love with a man, but he had a girlfriend at the time. And it's my roommate. I'm so miserable. I really want to be with him. Of course I slept with him. As long as I can be with him, I cannot care about anything. But he was reluctant to break up with his girlfriend. And I'm getting more and more alienated from me. I know it must be because of that slut. He was jealous that I had found true love. He's standing in the way. So I took advantage of the party, get him drunk, while taking him back, leave him on the side of the road, go on your own. Sure enough, even God is helping me. He had a car accident. Paralyzed. I thought so, he'll come back to me. I didn't expect him to scold me, in front of the whole school student teacher, and my parents scolded me in front of me. I said I seduced him. I deliberately hurt my roommate. But I did it all because of him. How could he do this to me? Just when the female ghost fell into memory, I hurriedly got the talisman in my hand, wanted to give him a slap in the back. However, the female ghost suddenly turned her head. Frightened, I quickly put away the charm, and asked him, "And what about later?" He continued, "Then I didn't want to live. Wear it on your first date with him. Wear a yellow dress. Just jump down from here." Damn it. This female ghost is for her own selfish desires. What is harmful to paralysis? It's more than innocent. When you are alive, there is suffering. After death, he also harmed passersby. If you aren't too fierce, Lao Tzu has already helped you on your way. Then, I said to him, "Eldest sister, the one you like. It's not here anymore. You're dead too. The building is about to be demolished. You'd better hurry up and reincarnate. Find a good man in the next life." Probably because, hear me say, the word man stung his memories. I saw him suddenly. The evil spirit soared. There was a fierce glint in his eyes, facial expressions at the same time. It became extremely scary. And then, he kept saying it. "Why? It's just me. My name is Chuizwufei. It's a Mr. Yin-Yang." The female ghost in front of her didn't know. I was stimulated by what I just said. It made her angry and angry. That impact knocked me straight into the wall. But now I'm here. I don't care about the sharp pain coming from my body. Because the clothes of the female ghost, little by little, it turned blue. Suddenly, she flew towards me with her mouth wide open. I rubbed. Can't let her continue to change. Otherwise it's not just me going to die. All the people next to this college town. You have to go to Yin's to get the ticket withdrawn. I quickly pulled out the charm, rushed towards the female ghost. The moment we came into contact, the spell was right in the middle of the female ghost's face. I thought to myself, it's done. Just as I was muttering, "Giddy," before the word law was shouted, the female ghost suddenly burst into flames. Blue has come from under her skirt. It's about to extend to the waist. And the charm I put on her head, it was also shattered. This sudden change, it will also shake me up again. It made me thirsty for blood. The female ghost also laughed like crazy. I couldn't help it, so I quickly took out the ease rune, shoot at her. The moment it hits, the female ghost was also kept in place. Can't touch her. In her current state, the ease rune could only hold her back for a few breaths, or run for the top. So I hurriedly bent over, got out of her armpit. Now that the negotiations have broken down, I can't beat it. Want to turn out for her? You'll have to play some tricks. At this time, I was also in a panic. Unconsciously, I ran to a training room on the 3rd floor. I hid in a corner, took a sip of water. Then he looked at the remaining charms on his body. After the inventory, all that remains, breaker and ease, 1 each. There are also 2 amulets. Damn it. It's really talking about using 10 square cross hands. If you practiced well before, you should have a handful of charms in hand by now. Where would it have ended up like this? Oh wait, I'm still young. How can you just explain it here? So I hurriedly recalled the content of the 3 Feng Shui. There will definitely be a way. So I followed the spell in my hand, and an analysis of the situation here. It didn't take long to find a way. I can do without. Roll your tongue and turn your heart into a lantern array. This formation is changed from the heart of the palace. Tongue curling is one of the 12 Tai Sui palace hearts. It's the heart of goodness. Pose for a specific environment. Mouth like armrest. Enter the waist of this array. It's going to be like being rolled up by a tongue. Can't get out, but with my current path and resources, I can only be at the back door, bottom of the podium table, and by a window. Paste a symbol on each. Picture the cat and the tiger. Make a simple version. Wait until everything is ready. I was standing at the front door of the classroom. Hold the amulet. Just waited for the female ghost to take the bait. Suddenly in the hallway, there was a burst of strange laughter. I broke out in a cold sweat. It seems that the woman is gone. I'm getting closer. Then I heard the female ghost shouting, "Sheen aid. Where are you?" At this time, I was leaning against the main entrance. Here it comes. This guy. Found the 3rd floor so quickly. Listen to the sound. I guess I'm going to the next classroom. Is he going to look for it one by one? Now it's just a matter of waiting. I'll have to compete with him for patience. As soon as he enters the door, I immediately activated the circle. And he just did. Will fall into my trap. I'm so witty. Suddenly, the voice of the female ghost appeared in my ears. Sheen aid. Originally, you're here. How did I forget the female ghost? It should be able to go through walls. Heal the female ghost in yellow. I just set up a small circle in the classroom. Now wait for her to enter the door. I'll start it right away. When the time comes, she will be wiped out. Just when I was complacent, the voice of the female ghost suddenly appeared in my ears. No way. If you don't go, what kind of gun are you wearing? I was so scared that my big snot ran down unconsciously. Then, the female ghost grabbed me by the neck. Then swipe it. Press me to the ground. She's this one. It basically cost me half my life. Thereupon, I struggled to take out the armor meridian charm to break lightly. Teether. Shout out the words urgent as a command. Then he pressed it to the female ghost's abdomen. The moment of contact, the female ghost let out a scream of pain. And her ghost hands loosened my neck too. I quickly got up from the ground. Come to the wall. Take down the spell you just set up. This formation is in vain. Now I can only confront her. The female ghost who eats pain at this time. It also flew towards me with his mouth wide open. I hurriedly used the bodysuit. Block her attacks. Take advantage of the moment when she is shaken away. I hurriedly put the talisman on the back door. I took it down too. Then he threw it at her. I didn't expect her to dodge. It was easy to dodge. Damn it. Wasted a spell on me. My current damage output is completely insufficient. You can only put hope under the table. The last spell is on top. So I hurried to the podium. The female ghost followed suit. Suddenly I was bent over. The female ghost actually crashed directly into the podium. Because she is not small, the lectern was also directly smashed by her. The charm was also randomly attached to her chest. It seems that this time... Oh, I pinched my hand and said, haste as a law. Then the power of the spell. Knock it straight away. Wait until I look back. It is already dying. Fell to the ground and moved. It didn't move anymore. Indeed, I'm in a hurry. Sit on the ground and take a break. Damn it. It's so dangerous. Almost died at its hands. Just when I was ready to say something about the celebration, but the female ghost let out a weak cry. Oh, aren't you dead yet? That's right too. It's turning blue all over. 2 yarn breakers really can't extinguish it. And Master also said it. Put the charm on top of its head to extinguish it completely. So I quickly ripped off my clothes and kicked them. Use paper as a pin. Prepare to draw another breaker. Stick it directly to her head. Unfortunately, I can't do it. I slowly stood up and said to her, don't blame me. If you are not destroyed today, there are endless troubles in the future. Just as I was about to mend the knife, the female ghost whispered suddenly, fourfold. Why? You don't give me a chance. Do you hate me that much? Not sure why. Hear her say that. It was as if something had pierced me in the heart. This sentence Reminds me of Du Feiyu. Because of what she thinks now. I've had it too. I suddenly felt. Actually, I'm pretty much the same as her. It's just that I don't have the courage to die. Looking at her on the ground and shaking. I suddenly felt very sorry for her. Me at this time. What reason to come up with to completely erase one? It's a ghost who is almost as sick as me. So I squatted on the ground and talked to the female ghost. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your forehead is a ghost. The abdomen is a ghost vein. Now your ghost veins are ruined. I can't change it anymore, and I can't kill in a hurry. I'm telling you explicit now. You're already dead. It's ghosts. You can't stay here anymore. The female ghost said to me weakly. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't know how to reincarnate. I just want to wait for her. She'll be back here. I don't want to go. I sighed softly. She's not coming back. There is no more chance. After hearing me say that, the female ghost kept repeating my words. Then from the corner of her eye, leave a tear behind. Oddly enough, though, that tear was on the ground. But it made a crisp sound. And it becomes a bead. Could this be a female ghost? My name is Chui Zuofei. Watching the female ghost leave tears of sadness, I also have mixed feelings in my heart. She wanted to take a look at her beloved. I almost lost my soul. So I quickly found an empty water bottle. Say to her, come in. My master is also a ghost, if you want. I'll ask you about the current affairs next month. How can you get to Yin? Wait until you get there. Find a way to reincarnate. Hear me say that. The female ghost also asked in surprise. Why are you helping me? I explained impatiently. What why? You just think I'm overflowing with love. Destroy you anyway. It's just a blessing. But there is still a chance for you to be reincarnated. Are you still or not? The female ghost said thank you. Then it turned into a puff of green smoke, got into the empty water bottle. Actually, it's better to send it to Master. Can it be reincarnated? It's up to her creation. If you can't, it's just for the Master's performance. So I hurriedly put the bottle in my backpack. Just when I was about to leave the land of right and wrong, the tears that the female ghost had just left behind caught my attention. I picked up the bead in confusion, although not sure what it is for. But I always felt that this bead was not extraordinary. After all, legend has it that there are spirits. The city is full of beads. Mussels have mussel beads. Snake beads. There is also the legendary South China Sea, which shaves tears and turns into beads. Wait until this is settled. I just found out. It was clear outside. And there were snowflakes. When I want to leave. The bones are falling apart. And also, Shan said last night. Let me go back to the dorm. Exit her. Outcome. Never mind. I'd better go find her now. Soon I was downstairs with her. I called her and said, I'm downstairs in your bedroom. I want to see you. You come down. I can't hold it anymore. Soon. Dong Shanchan came down. She saw that I was weak. One by one, he asked me, what happened? But this time, I don't know what's wrong. The head is groggy. Just want to sleep. Subsequently, I fainted in her arms. I slept very deeply. It felt very warm. Honestly, I never slept. It's been so stable. I don't know how long it took. I woke up slowly. When I opened my eyes, it was still pitch black. My whole body hurt like a spilled shelf. Especially the neck and chest. Something seems to be pressing. It seems to be a finger. Pin on. It's not going to be that. Out and on the contrary. Sneak up on me while I'm asleep. Subsequently, I jerked to my feet and shouted. Who is it? I saw Dong Shanshan turn on the light in a daze. And said to me, who else could it be? You're wounded. How did it work? In one day of sleep, I didn't even go to class. Indeed, I reflected it. It turned out to be a wound on my body. She handled it for me, and sent me to the hotel. This and won't be. I'll paint the one in my frame. Is it such a coincidence? Suddenly it occurred to me. What about my bag? Inside. But there is a female ghost in yellow. Follow the direction of Dong Shanchan's guidance. I hurriedly opened my backpack. After seeing the bottle inside unharmed. I'm also really burdened. Everything else is easy to say. If the woman in yellow loses it, he was released again. I don't have what I can do. Catch her again. That's when it happened. Dong Shanchan suddenly said to me seriously, Wei Zuofei. There are pinching marks on the neck. The clothes on his body were torn. I don't like my boyfriend. It's a land that only fights. So, you tell the truth. What the hell did you do last night? Was so questioned by him. I really don't know how to answer. You can't tell him. I'm going to catch ghosts. The whole world is born. I guess he can't believe it. So I lied and said, last night, on the way back to the dormitory, I met a few wine movers. They will rob me. When the wait is over, I'm afraid to go back to the dorm room and my brothers, laughing at my miserable appearance. So I'm coming to you. Hear me explain. Instead of getting angry, she laughed. He also told me to practice more in the future. Men can't be too weak. Then she took out a down jacket. Tell me this was just bought for me. Let me see if it fits. At this moment, I feel that Dong Shanshan is really good to me. I thought to myself, should I confess to her now? At this awkward moment, there was a small and unchanging sound in the next room. No way. This voice can't be wrong. Why are you again? You don't want to be such beasts. Don't even give me a few seconds to confess. My name is Chui Zuofei. After solving the lady in yellow incident, overwhelmed by the body, was taken to the hotel by Dong Shanshan to rest. Just as I was about to confess to her, in the next room, there was the screaming of a child. I was so angry that I slammed my fist against the wall. After knocking for a while, seeing that the next door has converged, I stopped, but then it occurred to me that I did. The excesses just now will not let Dong Shanshan misunderstand. Am I violent? But I didn't have time to think about it at this point. After all, the final thing now is to confess to her. So I hurriedly said to him a little shyly, I haven't said the word for you yet. There was another sound of clouds and rain next door. Oh wait, you have to go on like this. Look at Lao Tzu not to kick your door. Just as I roared, Dong Shanshan suddenly came over, kissed me directly on the mouth. I have to say, it's a feeling for me as an old virgin. It's just wonderful. But alas, this kind of wonderful time is always too much of a waste. Not much. Dong Shanshan asked me with a serious face, will you love me? Damn it, needless to say, a good girl like her, I'm going to love the dry rocks. It seems that it is really difficult to die. There will be blessings in the future. So I quickly took her in my arms and said to her, Sean, you can rest assured, I will definitely treat you well in the future. That's it. I'm caught in the whirlpool of love again. As everyone knows, being in love can make a person feel refreshed. After being with Dong Shanshan, the first thing I did when I went back to school, it's the dirty laundry that has been treasured in the bedroom for a long time. I took them all out and washed them clean. Brothers in the dormitory, after seeing my changes, they all thought the sun was coming out of the west. But for their taunts, acting like he doesn't care. After all, I'm the one who has a girlfriend, and a bunch of singles. What's it called? It's not. Dong Shanshan asked me to go out on Saturday again. They only have envy. It's time to make the appointment. I early, so they went downstairs to their dormitory. After we met, Dong Shanshan said to me, let's go to my cousin's house today. I told him, and there were two of us. He insisted on inviting us to dinner. You won't lose face, will you? I hurried back. How dare I not give Miss Dong face? In the future, you will go east. I'm in no way like Westbridge. That's it. The two of us along the way. The slapstick is to the destination. His cousin was in his 30s. Tall stature. Handsome in appearance. A proper handsome guy. Because it's noon. After beckoning me to watch TV with Shanshan, he went to the kitchen to prepare the meal. After a while, a table of good dishes, and he brought it up. And with it comes a case of beer. As the saying goes, a man's communication is not at the wine table. It's on the battlefield. After 3 rounds of drinking, the two of us communicated. Don't look at his brother as very handsome, but the amount of alcohol is average. A few rounds down, I drank too much. A whole case of beer has also bottomed out. Go downstairs and buy some more. But Dong Shanshan, seeing that his brother couldn't walk steadily, say, I'll go down and buy it for you both. Just like that, he scolded and went out. Then, his cousin said to me, you're a good kid. My old sister has a big temper though, but knowing that it hurts, you will be blessed in the future. I'm a little envious of you. But, brother, don't look at me as single now. Actually, I don't want to look for it. Thinking of you and me when I was in college. Then I really want something. The most awesome one. 2 girls robbed me. I quickly lit a cigarette and echoed. And what about later? I said, in the end, one is dead, one is disabled. Hearing this, I suddenly trembled in my heart, and then I looked in the direction of my school bag and I thought, damn, it won't be such a coincidence at this time. His cousin said again, don't think it's my brother joking. Think I, Dong Sija, have lived for more than 30 years, and there is really no shortage of women around me. Damn, I can't be wrong this time, because I remember, the female ghost once mentioned that man. His name is Sija. It seems that he is Dong Shanshan's cousin. What should I do now? I am deeply entangled. My name is Chui Zuofei, and I am a Mr. Yin-Yang. The first paranormal event to be resolved after falling in. It's a female ghost who was about to melt, but she also meant the poor ghost. In order to be able to see the beloved again, I almost lost my soul. And this one in front of me. It's the man who indirectly killed the female ghost. It's a coincidence. She is also the cousin of my new girlfriend. It also got me tangled. I can catch the ghost, but the scumbag is not in my charge. But by the look on her face when she just spoke, I have a feeling that she may have regretted it a little, too. On this day she took a sharp swallow, suddenly said with a laugh. Originally, I didn't particularly like either of them. It's just playing. Until one chick cripples the other. Later, the buddy was angry. I scolded him. That's right. Guess what happened to that woman after I scolded her? I said directly. She jumped off the building. Is that right? Yo. You're right. But don't say it in front of Sanson. She didn't even know about it. I'm happy to talk to you today. You kid. Good amount of alcohol. A few more faces. Brother, I'm optimistic about you, but you have to be single-minded with Sanshan. Otherwise, brother, I won't be able to spare you. Although Dong Sija is talking to me now, there is some talking and laughing, but I had a displeasing opinion of him. I then asked him, for this matter, do you regret it? He said nonchalantly, regret, Dad. Don't think that your brother is not human. You have to be clear. Before getting married, a woman is always an accessory. I didn't force them to harm each other. In fact, it's good that this happened. The woman's remnant. I can be happy again. Hear him say that. I was really furious. Subsequently, I secretly picked up the bottle on the table. Said to him seriously, but that woman jumped off the building for you. He still said with a disdainful face, regret something. I've been blowing about this for the rest of my life. Before he could finish his sentence, I'm straight to a wine bottle, and it was smashed on his head. Damn it, it's because of his flower heart. Made 2 young girls die a miserable death. Until now, he is not yet repentant. Possible. I was really angry. This time, directly made him red. He said to me, holding his head, why are you hitting me? What are the words? Can't say it well. I said angrily, you're alive. I don't know. What is it like to die someone? And you don't regret it at all. Hear me say that. He woke up with a thud. You're here to avenge that slut. He was suicidal. And he is also a murderer. It has nothing to do with me. Damn it. People are dead because of you. He also said that it had nothing to do with you. I angrily gave him another bottle. Why are human emotions so ugly? The man he killed. I just want to wait for him to change his mind. And the one who harmed him. But he still treats this matter as a talking point. He doesn't care about life at all. How can the human heart be ugly to such an extent? That's when it happened. Dong Shanshan came back suddenly. He saw his brother covered in blood. Lying on the ground was also surprised. Subsequently, he looked to me. From the look in his eyes, I could tell he was very disappointed in me. I didn't dare to look him in the eye. He didn't speak either. Just stepped forward quickly. Helped Dong Sija to the bedroom. I saw Sansa through the crack in the door. I'm helping him cut and bandage his head. And I don't know what to do. Wait until he finishes bandaging. I hurriedly tried to grab him and explain. He shook my hand away with all his might. Tears kept streaming down his eyes. I know, at this time, he was very sad. He cried and said to me, I don't want to. My boyfriend is a ruffian. You've let me down so much. And I didn't speak. I do not know. I don't know how to explain it to her. Or rather, I don't know where to start explaining. That's it. She kicked me out of the room. I stayed downstairs for a long time, maybe waiting for them to call the police. Maybe it's waiting for Sansa to come down. I'll tell her again. All of it. Maybe Sansa helped me intercede. I didn't see a police car coming. Wait until Dong Shanshan comes out. I flinched suddenly. Rashly pulled her into my world. Is that really right? And just like that, I fell out of love again. Maybe. My cheating is missing. It's my aunt. I will have a water bottle with a female ghost. Get out. Said to her. I know. You can hear everything outside. I'll let you out now. Except for that Dong Sija. You can't hurt anyone anymore. If you can do it, knock the bottle 3 times. After waiting for a while, I felt the bottle vibrate 3 times. So I opened the cap. That's it. Subsequently, I said to her coldly, I can catch you once. You can catch it again. It destroyed you. Remember what I say. I don't care about Dong Sija's business. But, if you continue to do evil, don't blame me. After listening to me, the female ghost was silent. When I turned away, a sentence came from behind. Thank you, Mr. Yin-Yang. Gene 8. My name is Chui Zuofei. It's a Mr. Yin-Yang. Just today, I released the female ghost that I had managed to subdue. As for the reason, I won't say more. After all, I don't know. This is right and wrong. Wait until after nightfall. I'm the first to tell you what happened in the past few days. I told Master about it. After he listened, he also taught me with a serious face. You can turn evil into good luck this time. It's also your creation. In the future, you still have to practice at home. Don't be playful. Seeing Master's endless education to me, I quickly interrupted him and asked him, now the female ghost has not become a hurry. So is there any harm to her? The Master touched his beard and explained, if it fails, she's just a ghost. But if someone gets pestered by her, that person will have many illnesses and disasters throughout his life. Until after the death of the possessed man, this ghost will also enter the world with the dead. In the end, it is not much to go to half. That's when I thought to myself, then let the female ghost accompany Dong Sija all the time. 2 people can't die together, but they can be reincarnated together. Also a good choice. That's when it happened. Master suddenly turned his attention back to my hair. He saw that I was still blue-haired, so angry that he almost jumped out of the mirror. Subsequently, I'm also quick to make an excuse. Get out of the land of right and wrong. This night, I lay in bed thinking a lot. Thinking about Dong Shanshan, thinking about female ghosts, thinking about those so-called destiny, thinking about me at that time. It's impossible to figure it out. I always feel. Sometimes the human heart is more than a ghost. An ugly. Ghosts too. People too. Actually, it's all the same. There is no right or wrong. Later, I'm going to use my own point of view to judge good and evil. This is my way of being Mr. Yin and Yang. Time flies. It's winter vacation in the blink of an eye. Approaching the spring festival, there are more people taking the train unconsciously. And I also joined the ranks of the Spring Festival Army. Originally, there was nothing to say about an ordinary spring festival. But this year is also a coincidence. Next to me stood a few fellow villagers who came out of Nianzi Mountain to work. I know from them. At the beginning, there was a big incident in the family of Mr. Liu, who was grandparents. At the beginning of the year, their family's boss Liu was lost. Here. I hurried up to ask them, Uncle, are you talking about the old Liu family in Nianzi Mountain? After the uncle heard my words, also asked in surprise, Lad, do you know their family? I hurriedly handed over a cigarette and said, No, it's a relative. I just haven't seen each other in years. And so he talked to me in detail. He knew. It turned out that the old Liu family had 2 sons. The boss's name is Liu Shi. The brain is a little bit bad. To put it mildly, it's about the same as mental illness. He was on the big rock at the entrance of the village every day. Talk to oneself. It's like you're chatting with someone. Now they are in their 40s. I don't have a daughter-in-law yet. Appetizer raw lock in the village. By the way, sell a little veterinarian. Wreaths or something. Don't look at him to support a family. But his family was never short of money. But at the beginning of this year, Boss Liu and the second child suddenly quarreled. Then Boss Liu disappeared. I haven't found it yet. I don't know if his old lady knows about it. If only the old lady knew. I don't have to rush to wipe my tears every day. After all that's been through. I heard about the Lu family's recent situation. I can't help but have mixed feelings in my heart. To know, that saved us. The descendants of Mr. Lu, who has been in the Chui family for 3 generations. Anyway, I should go over and take a look. It is estimated that around the new year, Dad and Grandma should go to Face Mountain to visit relatives. I'll just go with me then. When I get home, I told the family about the incident at Mr. Lu's house. Dad and Grandma decided immediately. Go to Nianzi Mountain early tomorrow morning. Visit Lu's family. So the next day, our family took a car to Nianzi Mountain. Because I said hello in advance. Second Uncle Lu and Second Aunt Lu had already arrived at the entrance of the village to greet us in advance. Waited till we get inside. Mrs. Lu also smiled from ear to ear when she saw my grandmother. The 2 old sisters seemed to have endless words. After the meal, the old people went to take a nap. My father and I told Second Uncle Lu about our intention this time. After he listened to us, he also sighed deeply and said to us, "Years ago, my eldest brother suddenly had a fight with the family. Then he ran. I haven't found it yet. I'm to blame for that. My eldest brother has a hard life. I'm a brother. Didn't take good care of him. This is my responsibility. Don't worry. I plan to look for it again in the future. We'll definitely find it." Dad also comforted Second Uncle Lu not to worry. While talking about it, let's look for it together. Seeing them comforting each other. Somehow, I'm not so optimistic. Because I feel it. It's not that simple. Because of Uncle Lu. I saw it when I was a kid. He looks demented though. But it seems to me, that's called self-talk. I can't get it. It's the same as Mr. Lu. He can also pass through the Yin. And this Second Uncle Lu is so bad. He is also the descendant of Mr. Lu, a master of Sanxing's supplementary calculation. Such a simple question. He should be able to see it too. Could it be that Second Uncle Lu is hiding something from us? It seems that I have to find a chance to try Second Uncle Lu. Wait for the next day. Early in the morning, we were ready to go to the mountains to sweep the graves of our ancestors. I followed. Although going up the mountain is a good physical thing. But the lives of our family, they were all saved by Mr. Lu back then. I should have gone to the mountains and kowtowed to him. When I kowtowed to Mr. Lu, I also whispered silently in my heart, "Mr. Lu, you are a matter of our family's life. I often hear my grandparents talk about it. Although I haven't met you, but I will not forget your kindness to our family." Second Uncle Lu saw that I was so religious. He also quickly helped me up and said to me, "Good boy, Uncle Dongli. The Chui family has descendants like you. It's a blessing." Just as we were getting ready to go down the mountain, I saw Second Uncle Lu walking not far in front of me. I thought to myself, maybe it's just right. Give Second Uncle Lu a try now. So I quickly whispered to him, "Second Uncle, I have a poem here. I don't know if you've heard of it." Seeing his puzzled look, I quickly said solemnly, "Zhu is the palace where the leader is located. Looting Liujia was abandoned. The blessing of the order. Don't be surprised when you don't want to." After I read these lines of poetry that day, not sure why, Second Uncle Lu was suddenly taken aback. Even a cigarette, but that fell in his mouth fell. "My name is Chui Wufei. It's a Mr. Yin-Yang. Just now, the poem I told to Second Uncle Lu. It is recorded in the text of the 3 Qing books. It is a description of the 3 clearings talisman. A book has told me about it. 3 books of the 3 Qings. There are 3 poems in each. If he meets the heirs of the 3 Qing books, this poem is the message of meeting. I just wanted to confirm. Did Second Uncle Lu also practice the 3 Qing books? After all, he is the descendant of Sanqing, who is not master." Just when I thought that Second Uncle Lu didn't understand the message, after he took a puff of his cigarette, said slowly, "False. Moralization is too clear. Ren takes 9 merits as 9 stars. Xinjiang gossip on 8 sections. 1 is the 3rd is authentic. Hear, hear." I smiled too. Sure enough, Second Uncle Lu also practiced the 3 Qing books. After returning to Lu's house, my elders went to the homes of distant relatives in the neighborhood again. I didn't go. I'll wait. I know, even if I don't go to Uncle Lu now, he will also take the initiative to talk to me. Right on Daddy and Grandma. They just went out the door. Second Uncle Lu called me to that hall, then closed the door. He spoke. Just ask me how I knew about this poem. I don't hide anything from him. I'll just tell you how to get the experience of the 3rd uncle. Simply said it to him. Just let the name of Uncle 9 away. Wait until I'm done. Second Uncle Lu has also been talking. Old nephew. I replied to, "Of course, it was an adventure. But you're the only one in the world to believe my words. But the second uncle, since you are also the descendant of the 3rd uncle, that should also be proficient in the art of making up calculations. But why? I don't know my uncle's whereabouts now. There must be some engine in this. I saw second Uncle Lu smoking a cigarette, reluctantly said to me. Originally, back then, Mr. Lu was after saving my grandparents. I returned to Nianzi Mountain for a year. Lu Qi gave birth to Uncle Lu, named Lu Qi. It may be due to Mr. Lu's leaking too many heavenly secrets. It's called the causal cycle. The retribution came to Lu Qi. Uncle Lu was born with 3 souls and 7 souls, and 1 soul is missing, resulting in a very low IQ. In today's terms, it's an imbecile child. Mr. Lu couldn't help but look up to the sky and sigh. Retribution is unpleasant. And press the decision. Decide what to say. Nor can it be given to the next generation. Continue to learn the secretary in the 3 clear supplements. Thereupon, Mr. Lu washed his hands in this golden basin. Removed the title of Mr. Yin-Yang. From now on, I will no longer help people to make up for the election. He will clear the book of 3 clears, buried under the ancestral tribute table where the family tree is kept, and admonished Lu Qi later. The Lu family has been in it for generations. Do not touch this book again. To say that God is still long-eyed. In the 3rd year after Mr. Lu stopped being Mr. Yin-Yang, Lu Qi gave birth to a big fat boy again. It is Lu Yiri Lu Quan. Lu Yiri was born white and fat. When he was born, he was more than 6 pounds. And it's very healthy. A few more years passed. Mr. Lu went first. Before dying, he already had a hunch. He put on his birthday clothes that day, asked Lu Qi to prepare a table of leeks, accompanied him to drink his last drink. Nearby villagers, because usually, all have received the favor of Mr. Lu. So the day Mr. Lu got sick, basically, everyone comes to enjoy it. It's also a sight. And so many years later, Lu Qi and Lu Quan grew up slowly. Lu Qi also kept her promise to her husband. Knowledge about the ancestral 3-parent book. I haven't revealed half a sentence to the children. Until Lu Qi was 14 years old, he told Lu Quan that he had found a baby. I saw him take out a 3-clear book from his body. Lu Quan didn't know what kind of book it was. I asked Lu Qi where he found it. So Lu Qi said, it was an uncle in a yellow hat who told me. In fact, don't look at Lu Qi, although there is a problem with IQ. But he was born with a physique that was different from ordinary people. The pupil of his right eye is white. From a distance, it looks like a cataract. But it's such an eye. But it is a rare yin eye in the world. The folk are also known as bad eyes. It is said that the dead eye cannot see anything during the day. It's like being blind. But as soon as the sun went down, it hurt. You can see everything clearly. Immortals and ghosts within a radius of 3 miles can't escape her sight. So Lu Qi started from a young age, dealing with goblins. Due to her low intelligence, others saw her talking to herself alone. I thought that this kid was stupid again. One night, Lu Qi sat in front of the door as usual, talking to himself on the big rock. Suddenly, a man in a yellow hat came. Say to her, I know you have a baby at home. Why don't you take it out? Lu Qi also scratched his head. He asked with an unintelligent look on his face. Silly baby. I don't know. This saw the man pointing directly. Mr. Lu sat on the desk where he collected books back then. That treasure is buried there. Tomorrow you can check it out. After saying this, and vanished. The man in the yellow hat, who it is unknown, but that book, it's like there's some kind of magic. The 2 brothers are deep. I was fascinated by the content of the book. Especially Lu Qi listened to those. When you don't know what the text means, it seems to have appeared in my head. A lot of inexplicable patterns, like Tai Chi gossip. It is like a cloud of beings. It may be because of an innate relationship. In his head, there are no distractions at all. Each time the younger brother will be in the book. When reading to him, he can enter the realm in the Sanqing book. Until one day, the only scalper in the neighborhood was lost. Came to ask Lu Qi if he had seen it. But at the time everyone knew. The village is so big. I don't know where to start. I saw Lu Qi wipe his nose and said, the old cow you lost should be near the East Hill. Wait for the afternoon. The people in the village went out to look for the old cow. It's really on top of Higashiyama. Found the old scalper. Then, Lu Qi also noticed that something was wrong. He hurriedly ran to the dark stage to check. Sure enough, the 3rd uncle disappeared. Maybe it's the masters in the dark. During his lifetime, Mr. Lu did not want his descendants to design this trip again. But I didn't expect the 2 sons to coincide. Got involved in the business of Mr. Yin-Yang again. Lu Qi later took back the 3rd uncle. Because he doesn't want his 2 sons to follow in Mr. Lu's footsteps. The fate is crippled. But he didn't know that it was too late. Because just the other day, Lu Shi suddenly said to Lu Qi, "Mom, someone is going to kill me." I felt like I was going to die. Lu Qi thought that this stupid son was talking nonsense again. I didn't care. However, Lu Quan was taken aback. Because he knows. The third uncle has been in the eldest brother's mind all these years. He has cultivated to a certain level. It has basically reached the level of an uncertain prophet. So he asked Lu Shi, "Eldest brother, you don't say it for nothing. What the hell do you know?" Lu Shi explained fearfully. "Sweep your feet into the palace. Someone is going to kill me. Brother, I haven't lived long enough to die. I want to hide." Because Lu Quan also knows a little about the art of making up calculations, he heard the sweep of the feet after entering the palace. Throw a fit. If my brother hadn't said anything stupid, that's a big deal. After that day, Lu Shi disappeared, and then it disappeared together. There are also 3 clear books and 300 yuan at home. Here. I kind of understood the whole thing. At this time, I couldn't help but sigh. Isn't the book of the 3 clears the book of the right way? Why? Something that would have been meant to help others. But why should he be punished for the 3 deficiencies of fraud? Could it be God's trick? Are mortals unworthy? Can't you have such skills? And the one that puzzles me the most, it's who the man in the yellow hat is. Why did he guide Uncle Lu to find the Sanqing book? And he was able to break through walls. I guess it's not a good thing. Is it because Mr. Lu helped people get rid of demons countless times back then? This yellow-hatted thing is for revenge. Who the hell is he? Attention, ladies and gentlemen. If in the future in the deep mountains and old forests, see the idol covered with a red cloth, be sure to keep your hands in check. Never open the red cloth. My name's Chui Zuofei. At the time of bidding farewell to the Lu family in Yanzi Mountain, the 2 old men were still reluctant. Then, second Uncle Lu suddenly stood beside me and said to me, "Old nephew, the second uncle will tell you what is in his heart. The Sanqing book is originally something that belongs to God. It's better for us mortals to practice less. Steady learning. Later, a good way out is the right way." I said to second Uncle Lu that I knew. In the future, I must read less of the 3 Qing books. But I thought to myself, it's too late. This book has been etched in my mind. I can't forget it. Now I am the same as Uncle Lu, can enter the realm of the Sanqing book. Now we can only take one step at a time. After spending the new year at home, I went back to Harbin to continue my studies. Relatively speaking, the second semester of freshman year, it's still relatively comfortable. No money, no girl, no idle eggers. All day in the dormitory, drinking and farting with everyone. The only way to grow, it's just that the skill of the picture has improved significantly, because since the last time the female ghost in yellow was, I basically go to bed every night. I'll have to go over it. Sanqing book. It made the roommate think, what am I doing in the bed? Let's talk about time. It's like a cigarette in your mouth. If you don't pay attention, you will be smoking. The freshman year passed in such a daze. At the beginning of my sophomore year, we organized a play, a 7-day trip to Silent Lake. I signed up with Wang Chung from the dormitory. It is said to be written sound, but everybody knows. Actually, it's just a play. There is a partner to fall in love. There is no object to develop the object. Half an hour later, we finally arrived at the hotel next to the lake. The counselor directed the 3 of us in a room. Let's have a good rest today. Wait for tomorrow morning. Free sketching in groups of 5. After breakfast the next day, I had sex with Wang Chung, Kai. There are also 2 very good buddies, Wan Ming, who are usually in the bedroom, and Donkey Iron into a group. The 5 of us hit it off. Drilled straight into the hotel, I went on an adventure in the dense forest to the east. Because Wang Chung said that there must be wild fruits in places like this. If you're lucky, you'll even come across a wild hole. Then everyone will be able to feast on it. A hare ran past us. Everyone is like being beaten with chicken blood. I guess I thought about this rabbit, whether it's braised or grilled. That's it. Everybody mutt sticks. I grabbed the rabbit with a plop. None of us noticed at the time. A few of us chased the rabbits. Gradually, they have chased into the depths of the forest. And the direction is not the east, as the hotel manager said. It's the opposite of the west. Just when everyone is ready to take a break first. Suddenly, the government and the people made a discovery. Let's get over it. Look what it is. When we all arrived, we found out. Under a towering tree, there is actually a figure with a red cloth on his head. At this time, I feel that this is deep in the mountains and old forests. How could anyone worship a god here?